Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Be Europe show. I'm Mireia.
And I am Stefanos from Eurodesk. And we're very happy to be here again for the 12th episode, which today takes us on a virtual journey to Luxembourg, a landlocked nation located in Western Europe, right along the tripoint of France, Germany, and Belgium.
Stefanos, do you know the official name of Luxembourg?
Wait, it's not Luxembourg?
No, I actually didn't know neither. But the official name is the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. And the country is sometimes referred to as the Green Heart of Europe because there's a lot of nature in it. And the capital is Luxembourg City.
Oh yes, the capital also acts as one of the three capitals of the EU and holds the European Court of Justice, which is the highest judicial authority of the European Union.
Wow.
And do you also know that Luxembourg is one of the smallest countries in the world?
Yeah, well, but it's not the smallest one. I think the smallest one is the Vatican City. But
I think you are correct, right? Yes.
Yes, but actually, Luxembourg is also the country with the smallest population size in Europe. And this is not everything. Nearly half of Luxembourg's population are immigrants, being the country with the highest percentage of expats of all Europe. Is a home to people from over 170 different nationalities.
Wow, that's a lot of different nationalities. And I think that Luxembourg is also one of the richest countries in the world. I think there are over 150 main banks and many companies that they have their European headquarters there.
It's crazy. And we should not be fooled by the size of the country, I would say, because there's a lot of things to visit in it. As I said before, it's full of nature and it has over 100 castles.
Wow, and of course, we should not forget about the food. I mean, you cannot leave from the country without trying their thick soup consisting of green beans, potatoes, bacon, or their crispy fried potato cake. I can tell you it's delicious.
Oh, wow.
But maybe if you want to visit Luxembourg, the best day will be the 23rd of June.
Yeah, I think that it's the Luxembourg's National Day. And probably there's celebrations all around with a lot of events and activities.
No, it must be amazing. But for now, I think it's time to introduce today's guest, Lesley.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Lesley.
How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good, happy to have you here.
Lesley, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. So I'm 25 years old. I was born and I'm still living in Luxembourg right now. And what I most like to do is traveling. And I think that's what we are talking about right now.
Yeah, I think almost all our episodes, they have kind of a traveling vibe. But Lesley, your surname, Barbosa Lima, doesn't sound very Luxembourgish to me. What are your origins?
I was born here, but my parents are from Cape Verde. They immigrated when they were like 15 years old. And since then, we are living here. Cape Verde is it's a country made of 10 isles, and my parents are from the isle. Sorry, I don't know how to say that word. And the isle's name is Saint-Ouen, and they both from the same one.
Wow. Did you visit the island?
Yes, I went a lot of time actually when I was little. I also went by myself to do like a little bit visiting and know a little bit about my culture and my family.
Do you still have family there?
Yes, I think half of my family is still there. There's not a lot of people here in Luxembourg, but I have actually like family in whole Europe. Like they're really spread.
Wow. And what are you doing right now in Luxembourg?
Right now, I'm working as a marketing manager in events company. So I take care of the website, since we also sell products. So I have to see every day if someone purchased something, get it for delivery and everything. And I also do the social media, the Instagram, YouTube, everything.
Do
But
you
I'm just
follow?
one. Sorry. I was
Oh,
just gonna say that I'm just one person, so I have a lot to do in one day.
no, of course. But do you follow Eurodesk on social media? What are Instagram, TikTok?
Yes, I actually do, but with my personal account.
And today we wanted to do a bit of different approach because normally we start directly asking about the experience. But I wanted to ask you first a general question. What do you think are the most important things you learn from traveling or living abroad?
I think the most important, I would say, to be independent. Well, I mean, if you're traveling alone, of course, because when you're not with your parents, to be also organized. I
Yeah.
learned that with the time that it's very important. And that in the world there's like so many cultures, and sometimes you need to be aware of how they live or how they see things before you go. Because for like in Europe, there's not a lot of countries where you have to be really aware. For example, for Spain, I don't think you need to be like aware of something that would be, how you say that, an offense to someone.
Mhm.
So, but for example, when you go to Japan or Korea, you need to be aware of some things before you go.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
you need to learn a bit the culture of the other country
yeah,
because maybe what is normal for you in your country is not normal and maybe not well seen in the other.
yeah,
So it's good to do a bit of research. And
yeah,
also, I guess you do a lot of things for first time, or at least this was my experience when I went abroad. I did a lot of things for my first time because at home I was doing tasks like helping in the a bit cooking and helping a bit
yeah.
in this. But I remember a lot of my friends that they were struggling to put the washing machine.
Yeah, to do laundry, to go shopping, get groceries, to pay the bills.
Yeah, it's like
That's
you
true.
learn. Yeah.
I learned also a lot of these things because when you're at home, like you're always with your parents, so you're just helping, but you're not really caring about the things. You just wait for them to tell you to do it. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was difficult at the beginning to see that it's dirty and everything, and you have to tell yourself, okay, this day I have to clean, this day I have to do groceries because either way I can't eat, or there's so many things to think that I tell to myself like, okay, my parents do a lot of work at home actually, and I should
Yes.
do more.
It seems nothing, and then when you have to do it, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, actually,
there's
it's a lot. I was also struggling a lot with the groceries because at my home, like with my family, I used to go always every Saturday. Saturday was the day of the groceries. We're going to the supermarket, but we were buying for five. So when I moved and I was going to supermarket, I was still buying for five, and then I had to like a lot of food that was expired. I was eating like I remember one day I had super bad stomach ache, and then I had to learn like, okay, do your list just for one person, not for
yeah.
five, and the things that you learn on the way. And which are the things that you always need to have with you when you're traveling or going abroad?
There's actually a lot of things, but I I think mostly like first of all are your important papers. That's the number one. What I need is all my electronic gadgets like my computer, my phone, the chargers that go with it. Also money, enough money like for emergency, because you never know what can happen when you're there. Maybe you do something wrong and then you have to pay.
Yeah.
I think also things that make you feel like home or like yourself. Like, for example, there's stuff that are not important really, but they give you some comfort when because when you travel and you go alone, you you're by yourself, so you have to feel comfortable and also bring a little bit of yourself so the other people can also connect with you. Maybe you, like for example with books, I always like to bring my books, so when I read something, someone can say, oh, I read the same one, so we have the same interests.
Yeah. It's a way to create connections too.
Exactly.
And what are the difficulties that you may encounter when you're traveling or living abroad?
When I was living abroad, the most difficult thing was to save money, because here in Luxembourg, you also always used to have a little bit more money than in other countries, for example. And I was struggling to spend my money correctly. Like when you're trying to fit in, like you go out, you don't really think about I don't have that much money actually, so maybe I just go out once a month, but you don't do that at the first time. You just think, oh, I have to connect with people, so I will pay for a restaurant, for going out and everything. And that was the most difficult. At the end of the month, you're like, okay, what I'm going to do? You call your parents crying.
Ask
But
for money.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. It was the same for me the first, because it's also what they tell you. You have to say yes to everything. So you will meet a lot of people, because if you already arrive and you say no, people will not connect with you.
yeah,
So that was my mentality. But then, yeah, the first months I was like, oh my God, how I'm going to do this?
exactly. But it's in the hard times that you actually learn a lot about yourself. So it's a good lesson.
No, indeed. And I guess we asked you all this question about traveling because you participated in volunteering projects through the European Solidarity Corps program. So can you tell us a bit about your experience? Where did you go, and which projects did you do, and what were your tasks during those projects?
So I went to Tenerife to do a volunteering work for the Atlantic. I never know the name. It's AWDF, but I never know the whole word.
Yeah.
It's Atlantic Whale and Dolphin Foundation.
Okay.
It was actually we were working for the conservation of the whales and dolphins, because in Tenerife, in the sea there, they are like the tourists go mostly there to see like the dolphins, the whales with the whale watching boats. And we were actually studying the behavior of the animals when they are close to the boats, far from the boats, when like in the morning, how they behave, how it's when there are more people in the sea, for example. And we also, like in the morning, we would wake up and go to the sea with the small boats that we had, and we would like to photograph the the whales and the dolphins, like from far distance, to not be too invasive. And we would see like in the like the dolphins and whales, they have in the back, they have like a, how you call that? I forgot that word.
Yeah, I know what you mean. How do you say that in English?
I have no idea. Yeah, I think I know it in Greek as well, but I don't know the English word. So.
It's the,
Non-native
That's
speakers here. Yes.
sometimes like through the years, you see that they have like nicks. It can be like bigger or smaller, or some doesn't have one because the boat cut it off, or they're
Oh.
very injured. So we try to identify them, and in the amount of time we can see how it suffered during these years, because the research started like a lot, like I don't know how many years ago, and they still like have the research, and every year they try to see what happens, to try to see what happens, and to prove also to the tourists that some whale watching boats are not protecting the animals and can be very dangerous also. And I saw also sometimes when we were in the sea with our boats, we would see that like other boats with tourists, they would see one dolphin like 5 meters away, and they would go like faster to really go to the dolphin, and like they don't think about they could hurt them. It's not because you see one dolphin in the surface that there's nothing under. They could be children, like the kids from the dolphin and everything, and that's sometimes it was really sad to see stuff like that. But yeah, we had a lot of projects to make people aware. We would do marketing and everything, and it was really interesting for me to see also, because I didn't think about that before. I always thought we were watching boats, so they are aware that it can be dangerous, so they stay at distance, but they actually don't care. They just care about the money.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, as a tourist, maybe at the moment you are not thinking about it because you are like excited of seeing a dolphin or a whale, that maybe it's an animal that you normally don't see. But sometimes we should really take our time and think, is it that good what we are doing right now?
Yeah.
So I think projects like that are really important. And how do you learn about this project?
I was actually working at the youth agency Anish in Luxembourg, and I also did an internship there. Then I was working there, and while I was working there, I saw that there are so many opportunities to like go abroad, travel, do volunteering, and I was like, wow, I have to do that. And my mentor, Leah, she told me a lot about it, and she asked me if I wanted to do one, and gave me like the links with the projects that could be interesting for me. I told her, for example, that for me it was important to be in a country that I never was. Some also a country that it's not too close to Luxembourg, because I can go there with the car and I already know a little bit what's around. That's how I learned about like the project that I could do in Tenerife.
And do you specifically choose this project, or it was just because of the country?
No, I wanted to have a project that is interesting for me, because I also love animals. So I was like, I want to do something or with animals, or that has like some connection with art or something. And at the end, I ended up doing both of them, because there we were also doing like flyers to make on the boats, to make the tourists aware. So I was able to do a little bit of art also.
What did you study, by the way?
I studied here in Luxembourg.
But what?
Marketing, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because at the beginning, when you started to talk about the project, I was like, I don't know, if maybe you studied something related with
Mm.
animals, but then I thought no, that your work was not really related with that. So I was curious. But it's nice, like you were doing the flyers, you were doing a bit
Yeah, I
of
was doing
marketing,
also,
so
yeah, a
it was
little
a
bit
bit
of
connected.
marketing.
Yeah.
Before I went to Tenerife, I had a call with the director, and like he had already the tasks that volunteers do, but he also cares about what could you bring.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had some people that had nothing to do with it, like they were in school to do photography or cinema, and they were using actually their skills also for the volunteering work. And
Yeah,
there's
that's
something that wasn't a task, but that after that was a task.
yeah. I think it's nice to listen to the volunteers to see what they can do because maybe it's something that you're not doing at the moment, but it can improve. So I think it's really interesting and really good that they do that.
And thinking back during your experience, what has marked you the most?
What marked me the most was like to be like the first time I went with the boat on the sea. I was so afraid because I'm actually a little bit afraid of to be in the middle of the sea because I always like to be like where the sand is.
Yeah.
And it was so overwhelming. But when I saw the dolphins and the whales, I was paralyzed. It was such an emotion, like I started to cry, even though I don't know why, but it was so like, how can it be so close? How it really exists? Like you just see it in the movies or something. And here in Luxembourg, there's no sea, so I never saw stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then it was like the first time that I had such an emotion for something little, like it wasn't somebody dying or something, but it was really emotional, and I'm not that emotional normally.
Yeah. I think it was the mix of situation too. You were in a really completely different place, and
Mm.
this thing that you never experienced before. Sometimes it just like shock you.
Yeah, seeing something that you never saw before, it
Yeah.
can be shocking.
And is this your best memory too, or do you have another best memory of this
So
experience?
I have a lot of good memories. Just like also the people, to see like so many people from different countries and to know a lot of new things. Also the times that we spent together, because actually it was a big house where we were.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was a little bit chaotic because
Why?
it wasn't such a big space, but we were like 30 people.
Oh wow. Okay,
Oh,
I can imagine why.
So yeah, we were like seven in a room, so we had so many experiences like at night or something, like stuff happening. So like people talking in there when they're
Yeah.
sleeping, stuff like that that I never experienced. I don't have brothers at home or something, so I'm used to be alone. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so difficult but good at the same time to be with so many people. But it was really funny.
and did this experience change the way you see Europe?
Um, yeah, it changed the way I see Europe because I always thought like it would be a little bit like Luxembourg, like big buildings, um, everything super tidy, a lot of shops, supermarkets, big supermarkets, and everything. And Tenerife actually reminded me a lot of Cape Verde, and it's actually not that far.
No, it's true.
Yeah, but I didn't expect that. I'd expect it to be a little bit like Spain, because like Tenerife, it's yeah. So as for me, everything was the same in Spain, but not at all. Like how can like I was in Barcelona and then I go to Tenerife. I was like, how is that possible? What is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, two different ones.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, it was strange, but I was happy because to see the differences, to also feel a little bit like I'm in Cape Verde.
And now we come to the most difficult question. What does it mean to be European for you?
I don't really know what it means because don't I didn't really live in a country that wasn't in Europe. But I think it means, but first of all, you think about that you have like more advantages than other countries. For example, the USA, you think, okay, there's like a lot of stuff happening. You have to pay for hospital, for example, that you don't have to do here. Also, traveling is so much easy, like in Europe, than when you go somewhere else. And also, I actually went to USA when I was younger, and it's really different to see that, for example, in USA, it looks. I don't know, how can I explain that? It's I feel like in other countries out of Europe, it's like a mix from like it looks like Europe, but like the people and everything, it feels like you're on vacation. Because here people are very sometimes close-minded. We don't see so many different styles or type of people when we are here, and when we go like abroad, we like people are so open, you can connect so easily. It's like a whole different world. It's really different, Europe and the rest.
And how do you think that people from Luxembourg see Europe? Young people from Luxembourg.
I think, like, first of all, as a secure place, maybe because of the advantages, they feel like Europe is above the other because you have more advantages, you can travel so easily. And also people from other countries also tell us, yeah, like, oh, you're so lucky to be from Europe, but they don't really know what it is to be here. So it's like idealizing something. Like we think when you go to America, you live like the American dream.
And also, I think that because Luxembourg is small and in the middle, like you have three countries that you border with, and there's a lot of people of these three countries coming to yours, to Luxembourg.
Yeah.
And this European thing, maybe it's more common because in Spain, I was talking with some of my friends, and maybe because it's the peninsula, it's not that super well connected with the rest of Europe. So this thing of being European, maybe it's not that present because we are not used to, and if you're not from a big city like Barcelona or Madrid, you maybe are not used to meet with people of other countries, but you probably in Luxembourg you're really used to it because every day there's I don't know how many 200,000 people from Germany, Belgium, and France coming to work. So it's like normal for you.
It's true. Like, yeah, and you can speak like so many languages in one day. Like, depends on the person that you're talking with. and even I am from Luxembourg, but I also consider as Cape Verdean, so I'm not just Luxembourgish myself.
Yeah, like for me, this is crazy because from where I am from, it's a small place. There's not a lot of people. I live really in rural area, and I'm from a small village in Catalonia. So I speak Catalan normally always. This is the only language that I use. And so just you that say, yeah, I'm used to speak like several languages in one day, for me it's like, what? Now I'm used to
Yeah.
it because I live abroad. But when I was in my village, I was just using Catalan.
Yeah, I think because since I'm a baby, like I was already talking like 3 languages, so totally normal for me.
And Lesley, how do you see the situation of young people from Luxembourg regarding access to different kind of opportunities? Are they interested, for example, to participate in Erasmus Plus Youth Exchange, Solidarity Corps, or any other youth opportunities?
I think that young people from here would obviously want to have this kind of opportunity to go abroad, learn about other cultures and everything, but they are not really aware of the opportunities. And I think that's the work that they're doing at the youth center, like really trying to communicate that to the young people here. But from what I experienced with my friends, I think that there are also a lot of youngsters here that don't really, they want to travel, but they are too afraid to go by themselves and have this kind of experience, because they are used to have everything. Like, for example, some of my friends could never volunteer and be in a room with 7 people, or try to speak English the whole day. Yeah, they're not really adventurous. I'm actually the only one. And I can understand, like, they like to travel and to be like in a hotel and have everything they need. What is, I think, normal because you're used to like a life standard here. But I think also there's a lot of people that could like it. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, actually, I was having a talk with Leah that you work with, and she told me that sometimes what they feel is that there's a lot of young people in Luxembourg that goes to university to Germany or to Belgium or to France, because in Luxembourg there was not that much offer. So maybe just because they are very used to go to university outside, they don't feel the need of saying, okay, now I'm also going to do this experience abroad.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is true. I couldn't go study outside, so I absolutely wanted to do volunteering work and other opportunities to go out of Luxembourg. But I think I would still do it even though I would go study outside, because when you study outside, you're just in that country, so you're living there, experiencing the life there, but you don't see anything else. For me, it's not enough.
I think we are arriving to our last question. And this is the question that we do to everybody, and I love to close all the podcasts with it. And is what advice will you give to the young people?
To travel as much as they can, and if they are not sure about what they want to do in the future, for example, to just go to another country for a volunteering, or I don't care what, just live in another country and learn about yourself, because you can just do that when you are by yourself.
Exactly. You have to learn a bit and be with yourself, and then it will, like, it's a healing process, I would say. Also sometimes.
Neither
So-
learn how to live alone and how to take care of yourself alone without your parents.
Yeah. So Lesley, thank you very much for this final advice and for being here, part of this podcast. It was really nice.
Thank you. You too.
And to the audience, Stefanos, do you want to say something?
To the audience, I want to say that thank you for listening to us and watching us. And we have 2 more episodes left, I think, and then the Be Europe show will come to an end.
It's Christmas time, and Be Europe is also going to Christmas. So see you. Thank you, Lesley, again, and see you all in the next episode.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.